This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Halloway versus Teems. Miss Halloway, it's my understanding that you and your dog, Prince, sustained injuries while you were at Miss Teems' doggy spa. You're asking this court to award you $35,000 for past medical expenses, $10,000 for your future medical expenses, $4,000 for your dog Prince's medical expenses, $150,000 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $199,000. Is that true?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
And Miss Teems, you believe if Miss Holloway was paying attention, she would have never fallen at your spa if she was doing what she was supposed to do, and her dog would not have been injured, true?
That is totally correct.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce. How did you come to the doggy spa this day?
I went to the dog spa. I dropped Prince off in the morning. I had some errands to run, and so he loves to go to the dog spa, and only the best for my little Prince. Isn't he precious? He really is precious. Well,
almost as cute as my Morkie.
Oh. And then I was going to come back later in the afternoon.
So, Miss Teems, tell me about your dog spa. What happens there?
Well, I opened Teems Dog Spa about 4 years ago because I love dogs, and what better way to make a living than work with animals since you love them. I've had them since I was a child. Our motto at Teems is Teems Dog Spa because your dog is part of our team. But
that's a good little hook. What kind of services do you offer?
We are a high-end spa. We offer doggy massages. We offer a puppy nail salon.
You actually have someone who massages the dog?
Yes, sir. We have hairdos and shampoos, and we pamper your pets. There's a big demand for our services, and, you know, people will pay a lot of money for their fur babies, but
so these high-end spas are big business.
Yes, but honestly, to me,
but you need to take care of the premises, Your Honor.
Your Honor, to me, it is more about the animals. We love animals at Teems. Everyone there.
Your Honor.
You want the animals to have a good experience, right?
Yes, and seeing their owners' faces, too. When they come out of the spa and they pick up their dogs, there's nothing like seeing how they're clean, they're fresh. You can tell that they love them.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is a beautiful thing.
So, Miss Halloway, tell me how this happened.
Your Honor, I came back after running my errands, and I came to pick up Prince, and he did look very sweet, and he smelled wonderful, too. But I went to pay, and then that little nitwit employee at the front desk.
I hire only the best. I'm sorry.
Please, you should have helped me.
Address me, and let's
Your
not
Honor,
call folks names, okay?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor, but this has been a horrible experience.
Yes, ma'am. I know you've been through a lot.
Look at poor Prince. Look at that broken leg.
So what happened?
Well, Your Honor, I paid, and then that girl, I won't call her a nitwit, told me
Your Honor,
to walk down the hall, that because of all the remodeling going on at the spa, she said that there was a different exit. So she said, go down the hall, make a right, and that the exit door was a few feet past that.
Okay.
So I had little Prince, my precious baby, in my arms.
Like that? Like you're holding Prince now?
Exactly like that, Your Honor. And so I went down the hall, I made the right, and that's when it happened. I slipped on dog urine. My feet flew out from under me.
I'm sorry.
It was awful. Your Honor, I was holding Prince on the right, so I tried to swerve to my left. So I put my hand out to break my fall, and that's when I heard the pop. My arm broke. I broke my arm in two places.
Snap? You heard it snap?
Your Honor, it was terrible. It was all mangled and twisted.
What happens to Prince?
I rolled on top of Prince, and I broke his little leg. And I got to tell you, it was horrible.
Well, our pets, our dogs, I'm a dog guy, they're our children.
I broke his leg by falling on him because I slipped on urine.
There was no urine.
And then when I looked, excuse me.
You are just trying to get everyone sympathy.
Address me, ladies, please.
When I looked down at my arm, Your Honor, Prince came over and he was licking me, and he limped over to me with his broken leg.
So he's got a broken leg and he comes to take care of Mama.
And he was licking me, and then
Dogs
I
are
saw
great.
my arm, and it just looked horrible. It was all twisted and mangled, and I fainted. I passed out dead away in pee.
There was no pee.
How do you know there was no pee, Miss Teems?
This is totally not our fault. We run a high-end dog spa, as I've explained.
Well, dogs pee on the floor at dog spas, right?
Exactly, and clients know that dogs pee on the floor at dog spas, but we have procedures in place. We have stations throughout the spa. We have procedures that everyone is taught. If there's an accident, we clean it up immediately.
Okay.
And we also have wee-wee pads that we put on our dogs that are known to
Your
piddle,
Honor, there was
because
pee.
we want to prevent
There was
accidents
pee
like
on the
this.
floor. I didn't pee.
Miss Holloway, same rules have to apply.
I know,
can't
Your
hear.
Honor, but
well,
she's
you're
not
doing
saying-
it with. You are doing
She
it with
is-
ladies. You know I already look mean. I don't want to be mean. You
Oh.
got to address me.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, thank you. Okay, now how does pee get cleaned up? Do you have some employee that's devoted
Yes.
to it? How do you do it?
We have stations throughout. We have rags. We have bins to put everything in. Then we take that out because we really don't want any urine smells in the salon. One, it'll encourage dogs to pee again.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
two, it's just unacceptable for a high-end salon. And the whole point is that if Miss Holloway had been paying attention, you see how she carries her dog everywhere.
Whether
Isn't that-
I
isn't
was
that the way
paying
you're supposed to
attention or
carry
not,
your dog?
I
No.
slipped on
No.
Miss
pee.
Holloway, we
But,
got to have
Your
rules
Honor,
here.
there was a big puddle of
no. I'm louder. We got to have rules here, and I can get louder. Miss Holloway, you got to talk to me. I know this is important to you. But if you scream at Miss Teems, I'm trying to hear what she has to say. I can't get the
But
right
she's not
result.
telling you
You're
the
talking
truth.
while I'm
I
talking.
am telling the
Miss
truth.
Teems, order in this court. So, you got these stations that are designed to allow you to clean the spots.
Correct.
Okay.
This is totally not our fault. When we release our dogs after they've been at the salon, they're always on a leash. One of the reasons I think this happened is she was carrying him with his leash dragging behind, and she probably got tangled in that. Who knows? But it's not our fault that she fell.
So do you have doubts as to whether she slipped in some dog urine?
Yes, I do. I
You think
really
she
do.
tripped over her own leash?
I think there are many reasons. She
I
was wearing
did
high
not trip
heels.
over a leash.
She was
This is
carrying her dog.
ridiculous.
I want to understand how this
But
happened.
there
Miss
was
Holloway,
a huge puddle of pee.
It was-
Miss Holloway, you
that
submitted.
could have been print.
Ladies, we are going to wrestle all day if you do this. We're going to wrestle all day.
I'm sorry,
You
Your Honor.
must talk to me. Miss Holloway, you submitted a diagram to this court. We put it up on the monitor here. I want you to go over and explain how this happened.
Certainly, Your Honor. I'd be more than happy to. Excuse me, young man. Could you please hold my baby? Sure. Just, you got to watch his leg now.
do.
It's all broken.
She is trying to get your
No,
sympathy
well,
vote.
please be careful. Thank you so much. What a nice young man. This is the front entrance of the spa. So I came in the front entrance. This is where all the little doggies are. And so I walked in. This is the desk. I got my little baby, and he looked so cute. So we walked. As soon as I got to the corner, I made the right, and that is when my feet flew out from under me. I slipped on a huge puddle of dog
There
pee.
was no urine there.
I slipped on it.
If there was
Your
urine,
Honor,
it was
when
because
I
he
came-
peed. He was upset she fell on him.
Now, Miss Holloway, you submitted the x-ray of Prince's leg.
Yes.
So this is Prince's leg here. That's a nasty break.
Yes, it is.
Because she fell on him.
Well, because I slipped on pee.
No, because you weren't paying
Talk
attention.
to me, lady.
Please,
Talk
that
to me.
spot, Your Honor, that spot is a dangerous spot.
You can go back to the podium, Miss Holloway.
Thank you, Your Honor. Look at that break.
She
it's
is
awful.
She is playing
So,
on
Miss
your
Teems,
sympathy.
Both
brings a
Prince
dog
and
in-
Miss Holloway had pretty bad breaks. That's not supposed to happen, right?
Correct.
You believe she tripped on her own leash or
I believe-
something other than dog urine.
Yes.
What do you expect a dog owner to do when they have their dog
but-
in their hands at your spa? What are they supposed to do?
First of all, I do not expect to have them in their hands.
Now, Miss Holloway, Miss Teems has a point here. It seems to me, just thinking right at this moment,
Yes, Your
that
Honor.
if Prince had been on a leash, then maybe you would have seen the puddle.
No, I would not.
Yes, exactly.
Tell me why.
I was carrying him because I didn't want him to get dirty yet.
He would not have
and
gotten
that
dirty
corner
in
has
our
been
shop.
a problem in the past. My friend, Sean, takes his pug to the dog spa every week.
Okay.
I have a sworn statement from Sean.
Yes, ma'am, you have submitted that to the court. And this is a statement under oath, so it has legal impact. It reads, I take my dog Ronnie to the spa for his treatments. Since we have used the new exit, Ronnie has tried to lift his leg at the last corner every time. I have to tug on his leash to get him to wait till we are outside. I don't know what is so attractive about that corner, but it calls to him like a fire hydrant. I'm not surprised that London fell in a puddle of dog pee at that exact spot. You see that, Miss Teem?
He has never told me that. And you know what? If I had known that we could have brought affidavits, I would have been able to bring 20 affidavits saying how clean our spa is. We run a very clean salon.
Let me give you a legal lesson about that. Anytime you intend to go to court, bring everything that you can that you think will help you, because the judge will decide what the judge is going to consider. You don't want to be in this situation, but you're here today and I've got to base my decision on what you put before me. Now, Miss Holloway, tell me about your injuries. How have you been?
Your Honor, it's been pretty bad. It's been very rough. I had 2 broken bones in my forearm. I have a plate and some screws. Little Prince has got a pretty bad break. Look at my arm. I know I look really good for my age, but I am an elderly woman, and this is going to ruin my life. You know what happens when older people break their limbs.
She talks about this ruining her life. This could ruin my business over something that is not my fault.
I understand how you see it, that she fell on her own dog.
When it happened, we immediately called 911. We got care for her. We got care for Prince. And I even took one of the groomers and put them in the ambulance because I knew with all the rules that I wouldn't be able to find out what was happening.
My
I was
goodness.
concerned, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
called that groomer
I can
all
see
through
your
the
face
day.
that you're concerned.
But,
You know,
Your Honor.
Can you see that, Miss Holloway, that she's concerned about you and your dog?
Yes, but if she would just take responsibility, Your Honor.
But it's
I
not
did
my
not
fault.
slip on a leash.
It really isn't.
I slipped into a big puddle of dog
That
urine.
she should have
It was
seen if there
large.
was a puddle. That's
Ladies.
how it can't.
No, I'm
Ladies.
sorry. It was negligent.
Ladies,
It was not. Sorry.
Ladies, I think I've heard enough. I'm ready to render my decision. In every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Miss Holloway, have to prove 3 things. You've got to prove that Miss Teems or her employees were wrong, that they did something wrong, and that wrong caused yours and Prince's injuries. You are asking this court to award you $199,000. This is obviously a huge burden for you. You don't believe this is your fault because you think they should have cleaned up the urine that you fell in.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Teems, you believe that you all had systems in place where there should not have been urine there. You actually have doubts as to why Ms. Holloway fell.
Correct.
You believe had she had her dog on the leash and on the floor, like most people should, according to you, that this never would have happened because she wouldn't have tripped over her own leash. The realities here, though, dogs pee, this is a dog spa, you gotta clean it up. When you're walking around, you gotta pay attention. There's a whole lot of responsibility to go around. The law, though, in a premises liability case like this, that is, someone is hurt on someone else's premises, it focuses on what the owner knew. One of the most important pieces of evidence is the affidavit that stated that Ronnie, the dog, came around the corner and attempted to urinate in this very spot. That is what creates notice for you, Miss Teems. What it indicated to me as I evaluate the evidence is that dogs have been peeing on this spot. That's why Ronnie stopped. And if dogs are peeing on this spot, it's because they smell the urine. And if the urine smell is there, that means you probably did not clean it properly. Now, I know that litigation can be a dog-eat-dog experience, okay? But it is very simple. If you don't clean it properly and a dog pees there, Miss Halloway walks around the corner and slips, she and her dog are injured, it is your fault. That's how I fine for a total award of $199,000 for you. That is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned. Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Leonard Lundy has to say.
The defendant had a duty to keep the dog spot premises safe from any known hazards. She was aware that the dogs would relieve themselves in the corner where the plaintiff fell. This knowledge of the hazard placed a duty upon her to take some protective measures to ensure the safety of her customers, such as putting a non-slip mat or puppy pads to prevent puddling.
Oh my goodness, we did it, Prince. Thank you, Your Honor. Wonderful.
This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Cooper versus Jenkins. Mr. Cooper, you are suing Miss Jenkins for injuries that you sustained when her dog bit you at her house while you were providing a service. You've asked this court to award you $18,000 for past medicals, $12,000 for future medicals, $250,000 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $280,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Jenkins, you claim that you gave clear instructions as to what Mr. Cooper was supposed to do, and had he followed those instructions, he would have never met your dog, true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's get into the legal sauce. Now, what kind of service were you providing to Ms. Jenkins?
I'm a HVAC repairman, sir. Air conditioning and heating.
Yes, sir. How long you been doing that?
About 10 years now.
What led you to provide service at Ms. Jenkins' house?
I work for a company, and I was out doing another service call. I just put in an air handler, and the dispatcher gave me the work order for Mrs. Jenkins.
And what were you supposed to do at her house?
She just said the AC doesn't work. To tell you the truth, a lot of times I don't know what I'm in for.
Ms. Jenkins, so you had a hot house.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And you needed him to come and make it cooler.
Exactly.
Tell me about that day.
Well, Your Honor, my air conditioner was out, and it was very, very hot. There was a heat wave, and it was unbearable for me and my family. So I called an air conditioner company just to see if they can get an air person out. And they said yes, so I made the appointment for him to come out. And so just to stay cool, I went to stand by the pool until he came.
So, Mr. Cooper, when you arrived at the house, what happened?
Well, I was supposed to text the customer, and I did, and I got a text back, and they told me where to park, and usually they tell me where to come in. I got a text that said, go through the door on the left.
And who sent that text to you?
I believe it was her son.
Tell me how you got injured.
I pulled up into the driveway like they asked me to, and I pulled under some trees because I didn't know how long I was going to be there, and if I'm there late or whatever, I want to eat some lunch, I don't want to be in
Yes, sir.
like under the blazing sun. So I parked under the trees, and I looked, and they said, enter through the door on the left. So
okay.
I looked over to my left, and there was a door, and the front door is there too. But I haven't once been welcomed yet in the front door of somebody's house because I got tools and I got grease and, everything on my boots, and they don't want me to walk right through their front door.
Had you ever been to Miss Jenkins' house before this day?
No, never.
So what happened?
I go and I start looking around, and usually, there's an outside door, and this is just usual, and there's an outside door, and I walk into it's either a room or a small garage or a mud room or whatever, and then there's another entry door.
Okay.
And there's been so many times that I'm banging on that one door, and nobody comes out, that I've just, naturally, since I was there for a work order, I would now just start going inside, and I'll knock on the inside door.
Okay.
So I go and I shut the door, and I start moving towards the other door, and I hear a noise, and next thing you know, I got this dog. It latches onto my arm. My tools drop. I mean, the thing was ripping. I never heard flesh rip before, but But I'm sitting there, I'm pushing on the dog, and it's ripping. And finally, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I felt bad for the dog because I punched it in the head, and it let go of my arm, and then it grabbed a hold of my leg and pulled a piece of flesh off my shin.
Are you kidding me?
So then I kick it off my leg, and then it jumps back on my arm again. I mean, it was horrible. I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
So this dog was mauling you.
Yeah, I couldn't get it off of me.
And you thought you were going to die.
I was pretty sure because by that time I had blood in my eyes, and I couldn't like see the swat or nothing. I was sure he was going for my neck.
I guess if you went down to the floor, this could be a death case.
Oh,
Miss Jenkins, is your dog capable of killing somebody?
Not at all, Your Honor. Not at all. My dog is not vicious, Your Honor.
What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Pancakes.
Pancake.
Yes.
Okay, he looks like a good guy.
Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing.
And you raised him from the time he was a puppy?
Yes, I raised him from the time he was a puppy, and I got him professionally trained.
Okay.
Yes.
You had a trainer work with him?
I had a trainer, yes, because I needed him for protection, Your Honor.
And this is Pancakes as a little guy?
That's my baby. Oh, yeah, that's Pancakes.
Now, Mr. Cooper, that's not the dog that bit you, right? Not that little puppy, it's the other one.
no, that's the dog. And everybody's acting like, the poor little dog. She said he had the thing trained. That thing is trained
I
to kill.
did have him professionally trained. You just didn't follow instructions. That's what
followed
it was.
Miss Jenkins,
Yeah.
how did you know something had gone wrong?
Okay, actually, I heard a noise from by the pool, and I was like, okay, what's going on? So I went in, and I saw Mr. Cooper bleeding all over my carpet, and I was like, okay, basically, so I attempted to call the ambulance and to get some towels to help him.
He must have been bleeding a lot for you to get towels.
He was bleeding, but you know what, Your Honor? I believe he provoked my dog, because at the end of the day, if Mr. Cooper wouldn't have walked through the wrong door, we wouldn't be in this court right now.
I mean, if they say I didn't follow specific instructions, if they were specific, they would have said, go through the front door.
You say he went to the wrong door. How would he know what door is the right door or the wrong door?
My son texted him the instructions on which door to go in, and I
Okay.
brought the evidence.
Yes, ma'am. You've submitted that to the court.
Yes,
Let's take a look
did.
at it. Could you read your son's text, Miss Jenkins?
This is Peter, your AC technician. I'm on my way. Where should I park? You can park in the driveway. Go to the door on the left. Copy that. Be there in 20 minutes. That's what he texts back.
Mr. Cooper, do you remember receiving this text?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Miss Jenkins, you submitted a diagram of your home.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through this right door, wrong door issue.
He was supposed to park in the driveway, get out of his car, go to the door on the left. My dog is secure here because we have him secure, from the neighbors and everything else.
Yes, ma'am.
But since he didn't follow instructions, apparently he couldn't read, he parked in the wrong place.
I can follow instructions, I can read, but I'm not a mind reader, okay?
Okay, but
You
so
say,
if you're
go
not a
through the
mind
door on
reader,
the
you
left.
can't read.
There's two doors
You
on the
cannot
left.
read. You're such an idiot, and you
should have
can't
been-
read.
I appreciate you all having a conversation, but two things have to happen. You got to talk to me, and we will not insult anyone in my courtroom.
I apologize.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Cooper.
Yes, sir.
You say the instructions weren't clear. Come over here and tell me what you understood those instructions to tell you to do.
You got it, Your Honor.
Take your time.
Now, when I got the text, and I mean, this is where it gets kind of weird. When I got the text, he said, pull in the driveway and go through the door on the left. Right? So I pulled in, I went under the trees, and as you can see, Your Honor, there's two doors to the left. I went, I got my tools out, and I said, well, it's got to be this door. It can't be the front of the house. And the thing is, Your Honor, if I knew there was a dangerous, vicious dog in the house, I never would have went in there.
My son gave him specific instructions on where to enter. If he thought,
Your Honor, there wasn't
no.
specific
if he
instructions.
Thought that the instructions wasn't clear, he should have retext my son. Can you clarify the directions?
I
And
fully
we would not
understood the
be-
directions.
No, you
If
just
you had a
couldn't
vicious
read.
dog in the house,
No.
you should have said something about
Pancakes
it.
is
Y'all are at it again.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Gotta have order in the court. Miss Jenkins, Pancakes has never bitten anybody before.
Pancakes has never bitten anybody before.
Now, Miss Jenkins, you brought your son with you today,
Yes, Your Honor.
and his name is Mark.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jenkins, would you stand up, please, and come to the podium? Mr. Jenkins, you sent a text on behalf of your mom.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
What did you expect Mr. Cooper to do?
I expected Mr. Cooper to pull to the left side of the house, to the front, and go through the front door. He did not do that. He went to the left area of the house where she already stated where we keep the dog, Pancakes.
Did it surprise you that Pancakes bit Mr. Cooper?
No, he's a guard dog. If you just walk into our house unannounced, that's his job.
Did you tell him you had a guard dog?
No.
Now, Mr. Cooper, you had no idea there was a guard dog, right?
Well, and I tell you what, if I knew, I wouldn't have gone in that door.
So, Mr. Cooper, tell me about your injuries.
On my shin, they had to do a skin graft because one time he was biting my shin and I kicked it and just ripped the whole piece of flesh off. That's something I'd never heard before in my life.
Are you
flesh
kidding me?
ripping, you know? And then on my knee, he grabbed a hold of my knee.
That is a nasty, nasty wound. That's on your leg?
Yeah, and you can see how deep it went. I mean, every time I would try to get the dog off of me, it would rip my skin.
Miss Jenkins, you see, this was a very scary day for Mr. Cooper.
You're right, Your Honor. But at the end of the day, if he would have followed the instructions that my son texted him, it wouldn't have been a scary day for him.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you.
You can sit down. Thank you. You've submitted $18,000 in past medical expenses and then $12,000 for future medical expenses. So your journey's not over as to these injuries.
Well, no, I got physical therapy and there's still stitches in my leg right now. And my fingers right now, I can't clench them together, you know, to do like work on my job. And I mean, I don't know if it means anything or not, but I play guitar. I can't even play guitar anymore. I can't walk. I can't do my normal job. I can't even go to the bathroom at night without my cane. You know, now this is it. This is how I get around.
Mr. Cooper, in order to understand the nature of your injuries, the court has consulted Dr. Samantha Brown Parks. Sheriff, if you'll get Dr. Brown Parks in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good day, doctor. How are you?
Good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Could you explain the nature of Mr. Cooper's injuries?
Mr. Cooper has several injuries, scratches and puncture wounds to his hands, his arm, and very impressively to his knee. So the dog punctured his skin and also tore back as he was puncturing. Dogs tend to bite and tear.
What's the actual mechanism of destroying the flesh?
Actually, I've brought a video. Can
Well,
I
let's
show
see it.
you? So this is an attack dog training video, and it shows the dog. It goes mostly for the limbs first to bring its victim to the ground.
Okay.
So as it's pulling it down, it injects its canine teeth into the flesh and then does a back and forth motion with its neck to actually tear the skin loose.
So what's the future look like for him?
It would not be unusual for him to have multiple revisits for scar revision.
Doctor, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're released. We appreciate you. Ms. Jenkins, you don't seem like you take any blame for this.
At the end of the day, it was his fault because he
Well, it
shouldn't
wasn't.
have walked through the wrong door.
Well, I
He should have
want to
been-
understand this. Did you, your son, or anyone tell him that Pancakes, the guard dog, was there on your property?
Your Honor, can I show you something?
You brought something.
Yeah.
Sheriff,
I have
Matt,
right
will you,
here.
will
It's
you
a
retrieve
work
that?
order, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm kind of...
Ms. Jenkins, did you see this work order?
Actually,
That is your signature, right?
yes, it is.
Is it fair for him to assume, looking at this work order, that there is not a dog on your premises?
I didn't check the box about a dog because a lot of times when you do, sometimes they don't send service people out. Sometimes because of the dog. So
And then
I
they do,
didn't
so-
lie.
Yeah, but
they're
I did
eaten
not
by a
They're
check
kind of
it.
worried
No,
about this
sometimes they
very
don't.
thing, though,
But
right?
at the end of the day, Your Honor, he went through the wrong door. I don't understand why he couldn't follow instructions.
I know that you walked through the side door and you were mauled by this dog.
Yes, sir.
But you gotta acknowledge that had you walked through the front door, you probably wouldn't have met me today.
No, I wouldn't have. And if I knew there was a dog on the premises, I wouldn't have walked in any door.
Folks, I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. In every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Mr. Cooper, must prove three things. You must prove that the defendant, Ms. Jenkins, did something wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing you must prove is that her wrong caused the third thing, your injuries. So it's like a three-legged stool. Here, you put up evidence that Miss Jenkins had a vicious guard dog sequestered in a room. You didn't know the dog was there, and you also weren't clear about which door to go in. You went to the door to your left as you parked. and you now are requesting this court to award you a lot of money for your injuries in your future.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Jenkins, you all acted responsibly. Isolating Pancakes, had Mr. Cooper come to the right door, this never would have happened.
Yes, sir.
In fact, Pancakes has never bitten anyone before. The law recognizes something called the one bite rule. That is, believe it or not, your dog does get one bite. After that, you as the dog owner are on notice that he can bite someone, and you would be liable if Pancakes had a history of snapping at or being aggressive. But that does not let you off the hook because you have a special dog. You have a dog in that vicious category, and it holds you strictly responsible when your dog hurts somebody. But in addition to that, your directions simply were not clear. I think it was responsible to give directions, but left depends on where you park. And in that regard, I find you responsible for Mr. Cooper's injuries. Mr. Cooper, I'm going to award you $18,000 for your past medical expenses, $12,000 for your future medical expenses, and $250,000 for your pain and suffering. I find in your favor in the amount of $280,000 and against Ms. Jenkins. That is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Ron.
Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Gary Martin Hayes has to say.
In many situations, owners will not be held liable if their dog bites someone trespassing on their property. But the rules change when someone is invited onto a property, either for social reasons or for a business purpose. Here, Mr. Cooper was called to fix the air conditioning, and the defendant failed to warn him about the dog. The plaintiff was hurt as a result and proved that Ms. Jenkins' wrong caused his harm.
Thank you, Your Honor.